You know what's a really good deck in the Digimon card game? Royal Knights. It is insanely powerful and also quite pricey, but all those SRs and Secrets are worth it when this deck runs like absolute butter. For better or worse, the Royal Knights themselves are always fan favorite Digimon, which means they're always getting new support and it's always right around the corner. And BT22, which is a set that focuses on Digimon Stories Cyber Sleuth, which is a game that heavily features the Royal Knights, means this deck gets more support.
Meanwhile,
but are these new cards Drazel's strongest warriors, or are they not worth the cardboard they're printed on? Let's go over the 6 new Knights and find out. I want to start off by talking about the Netherlands Omnimon with the new BT22 Omnimon, which is red, white, and blue. And honestly, the only benefit for Royal Knights is that on play, it's deleting something at the lowest DP, and when attacking, doing the same thing, as well as just having blocker. Decode and other decode really aren't helpful, and the Digivolving effect is never going to come up. Okay, and you're probably thinking, on paper, this sounds great. It pops lowest level, and if it played up by Purge, I could just swing again, and then if I can unsuspend by some miraculous reason, I can just keep popping the lowest level. And not to mention, it also gets protection from Last Guardian. But let me ask you this, dear viewer. Why not just redirect with BT19 Lord Knight or BT20 Jessamon, or hell, even BT13 Leopardmon? They're all blockers and they all cost far less. And okay, fine, if you're also thinking maybe also the pop's not bad, I can just go and pop a bunch of things. But let me ask you this. Why not run the other Omnimon? They also cost just as much and maybe a slight bit more, but they have way more value. I think this is the third best Omnimon for the deck, and it's not even a close third. The benefits of this card are not worth the trade-offs. Do not run this in Royal Knights.
it's time to stop!
If you're really gung-ho about running a new Royal Knight that has blocker, well man, do I have the Digimon for you. It's the new yellow Kintorosmon, which has blocker and barrier, and on play you can add a yellow card from your hand to top security. And then all turns, when it suspends, you can unsuspend by trashing your top security. And as an added bonus, if there are 6 or fewer total security between both players, you can reduce the play cost by 6, meaning you can play this out for a cost of 6. And personally, I love being able to play Knights out for super cheap. Especially in the mid to late game, this is coming out for free, because by the time there's 6 security out, you've probably done a couple chips yourself, and you've probably added a couple sources underneath your stack. So you're probably playing this for a reduction of, at minimum, the 7 from Drazel, and maybe even more. So really, this is coming out for free. But what's the benefit of playing this Knight out for super cheap? Well, immediately it'll help blocker and barrier, meaning you can block and attack, and if it would die by battle, you can just trash top security. But the on-play effect is super underwhelming unless you're doing a very yellow-based Royal Knight deck. But really, what yellow-based Royal Knights are you really running? It's just going to be Alphamon and then Alphamon or Yukin. Okay, forgot Magnamon, that's on me. But still doesn't change the fact that there are very few targets for this to actually hit, just 3 different Digimon, outside of Kintorosmon. So you're not really benefiting on the ability to recover +1 off of this. If that's what you want to do, just run more BT20 Alphamon. And if you're also thinking, okay, maybe I can just run this as a purge target to play it out and then swing twice to then unsuspend, well, let me say that there's actually another Royal Knight that'll attack twice in a turn, and you don't have to trash top security. So if that's what you're running it for, then I'd run the next card we're going to be talking about instead. Personally, I think this is a good card. I don't think it's worth running this. I think there are better removal options you can run instead, and if you want blocker or barrier, there are other cards that do similar jobs where I think it's better utilized. So at most, run this as a one-of. If you're playing a proper Kintorosmon tribal deck, I think this is actually great for that. The next card we're going to be talking about is actually Allforce Vidramon Ace, a 7-cost body that can come out for super cheap early game and has the on-play effect of you may return one of your opponent's lowest level Digimon to the bottom of the deck, or you may play one 4-cost or lower blue Tamer card from your hand without paying the cost, with the when attacking effect of when attacking, this Digimon may unsuspend. Allforce Vidramon Ace having 2 on-play effects is actually really cool, except only one is really good for Royal Knights. Similar to the Omnimon we were just talking about, Allforce Vidramon only bounces lowest level. Unlike with Omnimon, which deletes lowest level, activating those on-deletion effects, when something is bounced to the bottom of the deck, it's not activating them. The other on-play effect is super sick to play at a Tamer, except it's locked to blue Tamers, and unless they release Beach Boy, who happens to be part blue, this has no purpose for the deck. Man, imagine a deck that could just play out Cool Boys for free. That would just be so peak and would make this deck turbo out so fast. So yeah, it's probably not happening. This is worth considering for Royal Knights because it's an ace, so being able to play it out turn 1 for a cost of 2, just like Magnamon, is really good. And if you play it off a Purge, you're able to swing twice, depending on the matchup. Those could be 2 free swings. Or you could easily just swing into something bigger in security, and then it dies, and you overflow 4, and then you're just crying. It's a dependent on matchup thing. While this is absolutely fantastic for All Force, similar to how Contourusmon is, which is great for the Contourusmon deck, All Force is just okay for Royal Knights. Personally, I'm not running this at all, but I can definitely see some version of this deck running as a 1-of. So kind of like everything else we've talked about so far, at most a 1-of. Our next 2 Knights are actually combo deals, as they each have their own specific tamers, which does absolutely nothing because you're running Royal Knights, which means you're not digivolving on your turn. Okay, so ignore the tamers, we're talking about just the Royal Knights then. Actually, oh, hold on a second, wait a second. You can actually digivolve off your tamers under Drazel. Drazel just specifies you can't digivolve your Digimon, so bit of a loophole there. While I wouldn't run the tamers, you could still if you want to be kind of funny. Anyways, back to Alphamon, which is actually pretty cool, as it has an on-play when digivolving and when attacking effect to give one of your opponent's Digimon minus 5k for the turn. So if you're able to unsuspend this, which, look at that all turns, ignore all the other words because it has no purpose for all Knights. You see the then part versus then this unsuspends? Yeah, that's for us. So that means you're able to do minus 10k with this guy if you're able to play it off of Purge or BT13 Omnimon. Man, what's with this setting giving us a bunch of double attacking Royal Knights? Now, that one attacking effect I think is really cool for both a CS deck and as well as Alphamon Tribal, as you're able to have multiple stacks underneath to gain the DP and unsuspend over the old or Umon or other cards let the deck unsuspend a bit. So being able to just continuously minus DP this is insane. If they ever limit BT7 Dora Greymon, you're able to swing for 2 checks, unsuspend, swing for 2 more, and then that's just insanely OTKing without having to go into Oryukin. So, oh my god, that could be so powerful. Anyways, this is about Royal Knights. Quite simply, it's a blocker, and you're able to do some DP minusing. While this is a great target for Purge, this is also great as a just in case for when you do your BT13 Omnimon and play at all your bodies. Let's just say for whatever reason, the attack fails, and you pass turn, you'll at least have 1 guaranteed blocker, assuming it didn't die, and the DP minus can be helpful too. I'm on the fence about running this in my deck, as I think BT13 Alphamon still is really helpful in the mirror, but aside from that, I haven't found that super useful, so if I'm going to swap it out for anything, it would probably be BT13 Alphamon. I definitely think this is at best a 1-of, kind of like everything else we talked about, and of all the double attackers we've gained access to, this is by far the best. Our second to last Digimon we're talking about is a Lord Knightmon that is absolutely garbage for Royal Knights. The on-play effect just gives it plus 3k and then one of your Digimon may attack. And then the all turns effect is when something attacks, you can reveal the top 3 cards of your deck and play out 1 4-cost or lower card from among them. But it's specifically black or red, which, just double checking now, that is nothing in the Royal Knight deck. So yeah, this is just absolutely terrible and it's not worth running in the deck. This is basically, I can't believe it's not Omnimon X, only I can believe it's not. The on-play would be fantastic if it just gave something rush, but it doesn't. So best, you're giving this thing plus 3k, making it 15k and a raid target for your opponent to raid into you. So yeah, that's not doing a whole lot for you. Do not run this in your deck at all. 0, no copies, nuh-uh. And I've saved the best for last, and that's Leopardmon Ace. Is only a 7-cost Digimon, but has an on-play effect that is just a chef's kiss. You may play out a 5k DP Digimon from your hand without paying the cost, no color requirements or color restrictions, so you can play out those Megamons. Then all your level 3 or higher Digimon gain blocker until the end of your opponent's turn. So this gets blocker, and the body just played out gets blocker as well. And then all turns, when any of your other Digimon will leave the battle area, gain 2 memory. Which just means you block without a Megamon, you're gaining 2 memory. That's not where the good stuff ends, as this can play as something that's 5k or less, and there are tons of Digimon that you can now tech into the Royal Knight deck to play off for free. Like if you're feeling nostalgic, you can play the BT13 Porcupamon now and play that out for free and then pop your opponent's floodgates. It's just going to be so peak. Okay, jokes aside though, this is a fantastic card for Royal Knights, and I think at minimum it's a 1-of, and at most you can run this as a 2-of, as it is still an ace and there is a chance of overflow. Because playing out those Omecamons for free just gives you so much more value. I think I'm potentially thinking about cutting BT19 Lord Knightmon as effectively do the same thing. While yes, Lord Knightmon can play out the Omecamons, and additionally it can also play out Magnamon, we're talking about free here versus something that has to go into the trash first. And I think that could be really powerful. Just think about it, every turn you're tucking in 2 sources, the Leopardmon and also hopefully the Omecamon, assuming you swing into security with it, and then it dies. Just my luck though, it always seems to have jamming and hits lower level bodies, so it doesn't actually delete and tuck underneath. But that's more of a me problem than a deck problem. But looping back around to the Leopardmon again, I think I'm running it as a 2 of, and it's definitely hands down the best of the new Knights. Okay, so just to reiterate, the Great Editions, Leopardmon, the OK Editions, All-Force, Kentauros, and Alphamon. The okay to bad editions are Omnimon, and the horrible you should not run it is definitely Lord Knightmon. Now, it's already been confirmed that in BT23 we're going to have more Royal Knight support and even a new Drazel, so I can definitely see us getting a Eater's Infected Examon, Craniumon, Dynasmon, Magnamon, Jasmon and Genkomon, and Gallantmon. Positively, we're just getting more tools to play with, and that's only a few months away. Okay, now I'm going to put on my tinfoil hat here and go a little conspiracy theory. I definitely think Bandai is going to hit something in the deck soon. No idea what. It could be something as big as reeling in BT13 Drazel by hitting that and making so you have to have the new BT23 Drazel, and maybe that one says you can't Digivolve at all. Or it could be as crazy as hitting one of the main Knights, and that could be something like, I don't know, the Omnimon, or maybe even like, I don't know. There are just so many powerful cards in the deck that it's just like, what would you hit? Maybe Last Guardian, maybe Cool Boy, but genuinely I have no clue what would hit the deck and make it still functional and fun to play with, as opposed to just being outright oppressive. But mark my words, they're gonna hit something. But anyways, those are my thoughts on the new Knights and a bit of a conspiracy theory. Let me know down in the comments, what are you guys gonna sub into your Royal Knights deck, and do you think that I'm right about this stuff or I'm wrong? Let me know. Anyways, thanks for watching. I've been Pro Ninja, and we'll see you in the next one.